Good morning, everybody. We come to you from Milwaukee. Reef DVMs, which is us, has made it to MACNA. I think it's the first MACNA since 2019 in person. It's fun to be here, folks. I'm going to show you a couple things that we learn over the next couple days, and you know, hopefully kind of improve our own tanks and our own knowledge. So one of the things I want to show you while we're on the floor here is the Tsunami Coral Reef collection here. This is basically artistic fun stuff that we're going to do with our tank coming up. I just kind of wanted to show you some of his larger display, and you can kind of hear it from the show floor the best you can. I don't have my great audio equipment. We're not all mic'd up. This is just really us on the floor. My bride Molly here is working here with Dante. Kind of getting the lowdown, as you can hear. I know it's difficult. With all the background noise and stuff, but he's explaining how this modular coral background stuff is created, and we're going to be investing in some of it. This is really amazing, isn't it, folks?
Artists who have went to art school, and we've learned how to layer the paint job over the rock structure in order, yes, to give it the detail that actually looks like natural rock with a little bit of coralline for it.
Dante does a good job of explaining how it's put together and how the colors are impregnated in, how they use actual coral molds to make this, and why it looks so realistic.
In order to see them, it's kind of hard to see all of that great detail if your corals are one single color. So even they also end up looking a little bit neon-y and cartoony. Doesn't look realistic.
I think realistically a setup like this would probably cost about $4,000 to $5,000.
Corals are two tones. So now you've got the exterior highlighting.
Somebody just trying them, they're not going to have, oh, whoops, this one broke off a little.
Absolutely right.
Because that's what this gives you, is that natural look, which then becomes...
Absolutely right. You gotta imagine, corals are almost like snowflakes. They're almost all different, even when they're the same, they're almost different. So, and then, yeah, it's important to us to basically make sure that we bring out as much of the detail, as much of the natural look as possible. So we want it to be vibrant. We don't want it to be cartoony. It just doesn't look good. And then what we've also done is we've added a clear coat to it. You can kind of see a little gloss to this, so you won't be able to see in the water, but it's there. So now when you're going to clean this, or when algae grows because light makes algae, yes, you want to be able to clean this. So you're able to take a light brush and knock off the algae that's built on these things because of the clear coat that we have. It's creating a barrier between the coral and the actual algae. So it's going to look great and look new for you for years to come.
We've got such a wide variety, so you can go with different styles and colors to really mix and match to get a complete spectrum of everything you're going to.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun too. Exactly right.
As he's kind of explaining here the smaller setups that can be used in the tanks, which he's brought ours to the show here. I'm going to see if I can show you his card here. We got one of those fancy cameras. You can zap this, it'll take you right to his website where you can see some of his products. We picked out a bunch from him. He brought them to the show, and because the show is close enough for us to drive, we're going to be taking them back for our big reef tank. We're going to be adding some new color to our coral and fish reef tank there in the house, our dream tank.
Absolutely. You get some water flow near them, and you're going to be moving. Everyone's going to ask you, is that alive? And you're going to get the chuckle alive. That's live. So,
I totally agree with that.
I know, I did. I grew this in the warehouse. So, the other cool thing is that you can also switch up your design too now. So you might have it one way for a month, and then maybe you want to switch them around.
So as you can see, meeting up with TCR here at the show was a real benefit for us. And I think you'll like it when we eventually come back, put it in our tank, and show you that in later videos.
And then these are light and easier to work with, opposed to heavier structures that used to be made out of resin. Extremely heavy, and nobody wants to lift heavy stuff over a glass or acrylic tank in and out of water. So, you know,
These smaller ones you can take out.
absolutely. If you want to, you can take them out. And you want to just brush them inside.
This is really pretty stuff. Very flexible. It's very cool feeling. It's very light. It feels like it's going to be very cleanable. I'm really looking forward to using it, folks. We're going to switch gears here in a minute, and we're going to move on to another area that I want to show you at MACNA. It was a real benefit for us, and we'll bring back for our tanks and our reefs and our clients. Went over to the Tropicmarin booth and met up with Lou, and really went through some of his new products, especially when it comes to balling and salts and solutions. And a couple of them I really want to kind of pick on. As you know, Tropicmarin is very pure and good with its chemicals. Sure, they're a little bit more pricey, but there's some really neat stuff that they have. Now, when it comes to this table over here, as you guys know, I already use their Bacto pellets in our tank, and I already use the Eliminate NP to keep down our phosphate load. I find those two products hand in hand work really well for us. Now they've got kind of a three-way system where you use this little chart here, and you decide where you're at with your phosphate level, and it kind of tells you what to do. So basically you have your NP pellets, and then you either add a little phosphorus, balance your phosphates, or you need to eliminate your phosphates. So depending upon what level you're at, it's kind of cool. It's it's trade show kind of stuff, but I thought this was still a good side. And then of course they've got their different salts. Now I use the For Reef here. This is what we use currently. I will be switching to the bio because we're going to be adding some more corals to the tank, and I want to do things a little differently. I'll let you know how that, folks, goes. The For Reef comes in a pail. That's how we buy it here in Minnesota and get it shipped in through Bulk Reef. But we'll be switching over to the Bioactiva, and we're going to be buying that still in a pail. But here's where the big change comes in. This is what we're used to. Original balling. We buy A, B, and C. A lot more of A and B than we do C. Balling is very good. It's very stable for our system and our setup, and it's probably the most accurate way to get stuff together. But there's an all For Reef product that's come out from Tropicmarin, and I got to go to the lectures on it. I'm really impressed with how it looks. It comes in a liquid and a powder. There's the liquid right here in my hands, and we're going to talk about that in a second. And then we're also going to talk about where we want to go with that particular product. Then there's kind of the middle of the line, which is the carbocalcium, where you take that and you add your couple trace minerals to it and your magnesium, and that's the way you can go. So back when Hans started all this with Tropicmarin, he had the three-way balling set up, and what's neat about it is it's two-part with everything else you need in the three, and then you got your magnesium if you need it on the side, and that has been the gold standard of Tropicmarin for years. And then a few years back, they came out with kind of a modified version of it, where basically they took just the trace elements there, the negative ions, the positive ions, and the carbo, and kind of condensed this three-way balling setup into that system, and now they're condensing it into more, which is all For Reef. It's fantastic. So basically you've got the traditional method here in the middle, with, if you need to, adding the magnesium. You've got kind of the condensed version with carbocalcium, where you can add those two liquids to it, and then your magnesium, or now you got all For Reef. We're going to play with this all For Reef, folks. We're gonna give this a try. These are the three methods that are out there right now by Tropicmarin. The center one is the gold standard. The next one over has been working for people for years because you don't have to use as many dose pumps and as much equipment to put it in. And now we're going to play with the all For Reef. And we're going to play with it to hopefully get stuff to look like this. There's a lot of vendors of coral at the show, folks. I'm not even going to go through them all, but to me that was a beautiful setup, so I wanted to shoot it. So back over here, my wife has talked with Dante, and he's gotten out the stuff that we purchased. We've got a nice arch here with a couple little smaller setups that we're going to put out. He's brought them out for us. We'll be taking these back with us. We'll be taking the Tropicmarin knowledge we have, and we'll be changing our balling technique a little bit, because instead of 4 or 5 balling pumps running and a lot of setup, we're going to be going down to 1 here soon. We're going to let you know how it goes with all this beautiful new structure going into the tank, and some of my old structure coming out and getting boxed up and saved for maybe another tank or a different use. It's a little hard to see here where he set it out here on his rug by his big display, because the big display kind of dwarfs it in the back. So we're going to move it over here to the floor just so you guys can see it. I think this is going to be a really neat change for the dream tank in our house. Taking our big tank and setting this up, and we'll set up something like this. This is just kind of a on-the-floor thing a MACNA put together. But again, we hooked up with them, got the products out here. We'll take them from here back home. I really think this will really pop in the tank. I think we're going to be able to do some really good drilling on it, and coral fragging right to it. And in a lot of places, I'm just going to be able to set the coral right on it and make it work. This is MACNA 2022. We found it to be a fantastic show, folks, out here in Milwaukee. We're still enjoying it. Please like and subscribe and follow us, and we'll put out probably in a month or so another video on how the reef looks once we make these additions. Thanks, folks.